Hello everyone, Marc Daniel Patrick here, musical theater coach. Thank you so much for taking time to check out the channel. Don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you can find me on Instagram at Marc Daniel Patrick or at my website at marcdanielpatrick.com. As promised, we're taking another stop in the Stephen Sondheim Book of Classics, and for those of you on Friday who commented on the video saying you love his songs, you walk down the street singing them all the time, I applaud you. Stephen Sondheim writes possibly the most difficult music the theater world has ever seen, and if you're walking down the street and you can't get that song out of your head and you're continuously singing it, if I pass by you, we're going to lunch, because I want to know your story. I want to know how you got that song in your head and how you've come to recognize great musical theater when you hear it. Now, when it comes to The Ladies Who Lunch, there are a number of performances to choose from. Carol Burnett gives us a great comedy version of the number. Of course, Elaine Sturridge was the original in the role, but for this video, we're going to take a look at the Broadway gem that is Patti LuPone. From her Broadway debut in 1973 in Little Sisters, just 6 years later, she was cast in the original Broadway production of Evita and went on to win her first of 2 Tony Awards. Patti LuPone has a Broadway career that is now embarking on its 5th decade. With 2 Tony Award wins and 7 nominations, she will go down as one of the greatest musical theater performers we have seen in generations. Today we're going to be looking at her performing The Ladies Who Lunch from Stephen Sondheim's 80th birthday celebration. Here we go.
I'd like to propose a toast.
So no, obviously that's the cue for everyone. No one has a program, no one knows what's coming up. So that's the cue that here we go. We're gonna hit you with one of the classics right off the bat. But so the important part about this number is you have to remember the character of Joanne she's been out to dinner, she's been to the opera, she's now at a nightclub. She's told us many times that she's hated each one of those 3 experiences. So she's obviously been heavily drinking throughout the night, and that presents the first challenge for the actresses to try and figure out where that song's gonna sit, right? There are a number of different directions to come at this character and come at this song. For her being quite inebriated, that's the first challenge, is to try and figure out where you're gonna let that sit, how you're gonna let that affect your performance, and how much you're going to make that obvious, right? So let's see how Patti tackles that throughout this.
Here's to the ladies who lunch. Everybody laugh. Lounging in their caftans and planning a brunch on their own behalf.
So a couple of things, right? She gets away with that smirk off of that everybody laugh line because people responded to her. So I would imagine in the show itself, a lot of people maybe wouldn't respond. They wouldn't quite laugh at that part, just because you're not sure if it's meant to be funny or not, or not sure how to take her. So she gets away with that on that part. But listen to her over-enunciation, right? That's a Patti LuPone trademark, is she really over-enunciates a lot. But what a great character choice it is as well, because for someone who's that drunk and that inebriated and trying to pretend like they're not, typically everything is super sensitive, right? Everything is hypersense. You're going to try and enunciate everything because in your head you're slurring your words, but you're really not yet, and you're trying to enunciate everything perfectly to try and throw everyone off the scent that you haven't been drinking the entire night. So while it's a great Broadway tactic to over enunciate, that's we talk about that a lot on this channel, it's also quite perfect for the character to just hit all those sharp consonants as much as you can to give you that first clue that she's quite drunk, and really trying to to play it off here. So
Off to the gym, then to a fitting, claiming their fat and looking grim, 'cause they've been sitting, choosing a hat. Does anyone still wear a hat?
That's such a perfect. So obviously, it's again because of the situation they're in. That's a perfect moment for her to play off who else but Elaine sitting behind her, watching her perform the number. But which is so perfect. It's such a great moment for them. You look at that last phrasing there. This song really challenges the actress to make so many decisions each and every line. So that past section that she just went through, there's really draws into question of whether she's talking to everyone around her or talking to herself. Is she talking about someone in particular? Is she talking about just herself? Is she pointing fingers at someone? Is she not? Like there's a lot of different things you need to decide on each line. I think the way Patti plays it here really makes it seem like all of a sudden she kind of goes into her own world for a little bit, and she's kind of just talking to herself. And then all of a sudden the question of the hat comes out, and she's able to relate it to back to whoever's sitting at the table with her. There's really no right or wrong way, but you do need to be quite clear on each line how you're going to approach it.
I'll drink to that. Here's to the girls who stay smart, aren't they a gas? Rushing to their classes in optical art, wishing it would pass. Another long, exhausting day, another $1,000, a matinee, a pinter play, perhaps a piece of Mahler's. I'll drink to that. And one for Mahler.
Such a great thing in this song is being able to use your voice to play up that drunkenness even more, right? When she all of a sudden lets her voice go and starts to crescendo on those notes is very much allowing her to show off vocally, but also very much true in character, where someone who's drunk and is now making this speech would start, yelling at certain points and start, becoming a little bit unhinged here and there. And that's just so perfect, and use that to your advantage, and she does it so well.
Here's to the girls who play wife, aren't they too much? Keeping house but clutching a copy of life just to keep in touch. The ones who follow the rules and meet themselves at the schools, too busy to know that they're fools, or if they are jerks.
That's such a song time ending to that phrase. My God. That, again, it's such a great, right? So not every moment of the song needs to be played the same way. You can be a little bit more drunk in some places, and then sort of pull back on that and start to become a little bit angry, start to get, a little sarcastic and a little flippant. That's so much of that is built into one performance. It doesn't have to be one note throughout the entire thing. I think as she comes in and out of each phrase, she's all of a sudden thinking on something different, right? This is the part of the song where it really starts to break down a little bit, where it was a little, shall we say, tongue-in-cheek, a little fun at the beginning, and now it's starting to become a little bit more real, and she's starting to get possibly a little bit more angry about it, because you start to feel like, oh, maybe she's actually talking about herself. So these ladies who lunch, maybe she's realized she's actually one of them, and that's where it starts to break down for her a little bit here.
And here's to the girls who just watch, aren't they the best? When they get depressed, it's a bottle of scotch plus a little jest. Another chance to disapprove, another brilliant zinger, another reason not to move, another vodka stinger. I'll drink to that.
So good. They're going to applaud it here, and as they should. That's very much Lupone's doing. She decided to change up that phrasing and give her that moment to just, when you're just so angry about something and trying to get a point across, sometimes there are no words left and you just like end up in this like small little fit of rage. And I love that she brings that she just brings that aisle, like elongates that aisle together to give her such a great moment there. So it's an angry moment, it's a drunken moment, it's all tied into one, and it's just so perfect there. Just before that part of the song, and when she starts to let her voice go again, you notice how she's biting down on a lot of her words, where it starts to become a little bit more real, like I said, and starts to become more serious for her as she starts to talk about herself. She's really biting on her words and really just cutting them off. It's not some elongated phrases anymore. She's really biting things off and really starts to feel the weight and the effect of the moment and what she's actually discovering and talking about.
Yes, they're the girls on the go. Everybody tries. Look into their eyes and you'll see what they know. Everybody dies. A toast to that invincible bunch. The dinosaurs surviving the crunch.
Now we'll go back on this because we need to see this entirely together, but we'll go back on it in a second. But that past phrase there is really the crutch of the song and the most heart-wrenching part of this song. The lines where everybody tries, look in their eyes, you'll see what they know, everybody dies. It's so, that line just should just floor you. That just grounds you right away, where this inebriated woman is going off on all these different things she hates. But then all of a sudden sort of softens it a little with a bit of a reality check, being like, hey, at the same time, everybody's trying, doing what they can because everyone knows they're eventually going to die. And it's she almost just brings it back and almost says something fairly coherent and a way for those around her to empathize with her. So the way Patti delivered it was very big, very vocal. I would have loved to see it a little bit more like sit on those. So for me, I would have liked to see that delivered as you take that character out of it. Take the drunkenness out, the anger, the irony, and just play it straight. Just deliver that line as the gut punch it is. That, look, all we're doing is everybody's trying. Everybody's going to die. Try your best. What can you do? I would have loved to see it delivered that way. But so let's just go back here quickly and relive this ending again.
I'll drink to that. Yes, they're the girls on the go. Everybody tries. Look into their eyes and you'll see what they know. Everybody dies. A toast to that invincible bunch. Dinosaurs surviving the crunch. Let's hear it for the ladies who lunch. Everybody rise, 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 rise,
That ending is so up for interpretation, right? So you have 7, 8 rises all together. You want to deliver all of them individually, of course. And you see how she everything she was feeling throughout the entire song, she now wove it into each and every one of those rises. She started off very drunk, very whatever, very flippant, very throwing it away, but then all of a sudden started to get very ironic with it. All of a sudden she finishes off very angry with it. And in this part of the show where people are starting to clear out of the club and leaving her alone as she starts to lose it. But so that those ending rises need to be played so individually. And I love how she blends everything she was feeling in the song into those final moments. And that's just so perfect. So it really is so perfect, right? It's one of the greatest composers being performed by one of Broadway's best of all time. And I think that's the biggest problem with this number and a lot of Sondheim numbers in general. They don't understand the backstory or the context that's built into that character and the reason why they're singing the song. And that's the number one mistake you can make in musical theater, and the biggest mistake you can make, especially when performing one of his numbers, because he will give you that drama, he will give you that conflict. Everything is built into each and every song, and there's so much there to play with and so much there to discover. I'm not saying it's easy, it's incredibly difficult to do, but if you really want to challenge yourself with an acting through song number, this is one of the best ones to go to, or really anything in his repertoire will really give you a chance to delve in, understand a character, and really give you a chance to play with that and bring it out in an acting through song number. Alright, that's all we have for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and you can find me on Instagram and at my website at marcdanielpatrick.com. Until next time, I'm Marc Daniel Patrick, and thanks so much for watching.